The Championship last season against the second best team from League One. It's Forest and Leeds United, and we're ready to go with our match commentators Don Goodman and Bill Leslie.
Well, their most recent meeting might have been in League One, but 10 of the previous dozen have been in the Barclays Premier League. These are, of course, big clubs with those big histories that have been like millstones around their necks at times recently. Most pressingly, though, for both managers, they both are laden with big expectations for what their respective clubs will achieve over the next 9 months. And they both got back to this level, which was the most immediate tasks for them. That won't do for long when you have the names of Nottingham Forest and Leeds United. Focusing on the present, and both are looking to get a point on the board for the first time, albeit early on in this championship season. Leeds in their change strip of blue, a touch for Becchio. Big Wes Morgan, back to Gunter.
There's no question, this is going to be a big test for Leeds United, isn't it? Away form towards the end of last season was a little bit of a worry, wasn't it, for Simon Grayson? Only 2 wins in their last 12 League One away games, I think, something like that, against a team that, well, were just supreme here at the City Ground, weren't they? Broke all kinds of records, Nottingham Forest, so it's a big ask for Leeds United here this afternoon.
They are in action here in anger for the first time since Blackpool came here and made everyone sit up and take notice. Here's Gunter, great early ball in, Blackstock's missed it, Anderson couldn't beat Kasper Schmeichel, and Forest very nearly inside the first 90 seconds with the lead.
Well, I'm looking down at the Leeds United bench and they're already up in arms because the defending there is leaving a little bit to be desired, and I have to say they got away with it there.
And there's one of 2 ways that Forest would respond to last season's disappointment. For so much of the campaign, they were the form side. They were probably the ones who turned in the best performance. Are they going to unleash it on Leeds here?
Obviously, Cohen whips a beautiful ball in. Blackstock doesn't get the touch, but Paul Anderson it is who's following in. He comes at an awkward height for Anderson, so he can only chest it. But Kasper Schmeichel's positioning, more than anything, is the thing that saves Leeds United here, because this ball more or less hits Kasper Schmeichel on the legs. And once again, you wondered how busy an afternoon he was going to have. And if the opening couple of minutes is anything to go by, he may be very busy.
Blessed with the Schmeichel name and the Schmeichel genes as well. He is a big opponent to beat in the Leeds United goal, one of their new acquisitions this summer. Well, they might have expected something of a Nottingham Forest storm to weather early on, but it's vital they don't bring it on themselves too much.
Absolutely, they spoke very openly, the Leeds United management, about a bit of naivety that they displayed last week in their first game back in the Championship against Derby County, and they paid the price for that. I'm sure Simon Grayson and everybody concerned with Leeds is hoping that they've learnt a little lesson.
Michael away, kicking and distribution, one of the real strong points of his game that the supporters just across town here in Nottingham were party to last season. Gunter, a host of Forest players actually who was away on international duty in the week, featured for Wales in their thumping 5-1 win against Luxembourg. Majewski, who was away with Poland, is now a full-time Nottingham Forest player, and certainly one who should be able to use this lush green carpet and home support to his advantage, left out on the opening day trip to Burnley. Cohen, who started on the right for Forest, has Gunter on the move ahead of him.
Just having to be very, very disciplined at the moment, Leeds United. Nottingham Forest seeing an awful lot of the football.
Bassoni couldn't get there, he's gone in with a really risky challenge. Tony Bates is the referee, it was right on the edge of the box, and he's waved away Nottingham Forest claims here.
Tony Bates was in an absolutely perfect position to see that incident. Clearly felt Bassoni just gets a toe on the ball. A very big shout early on, isn't it? Because this is typical Forest, really fast movement. Bassoni just seems to poke the ball away just there. There's a little contact, just nudges the ball away. And everybody connected with Nottingham Forest was up, claiming a penalty there, Billy Davies included.
And Leeds United lost courtesy of a penalty effectively on day one against Derby County, given away by Lloyd Sam. Rewarded one in there, Carling Cup win against Lincoln. Early possibilities of one there against them, waved away. Johnny Howson. There's Lloyd Sam outside him, Bradley Johnson on the move. Becchio in the middle, so too Wes Morgan for Forest. McKenna.
There's a really lovely open feel to this match so far, isn't there? And Leeds United not short of adventure when they do actually get possession of the ball either. The makings of a good match.
Cohen. And one of the new faces around these parts, Ryan Bertrand, England under-21 international, trying to come through.
So important, aren't they? Full-backs in modern-day football almost have to be equally as good at attacking as they are at defending. It's very noticeable, both these Forest full-backs really pushing really high up the pitch, trying to help their attacks.
And this man usually provides something of an insurance policy, Paul McKenna. And the Forest supporters always saying you'll never beat Wes Morgan. There he is, lofting forward. It took its time coming, but eventually the free kick awarded Dexter Blackstock's favour.
Well, Chris Gunter has just gone over to the assistant and said, why did you not give this? I mean, Collins all over Dexter Blackstock. I expect that to be a physical afternoon, but Tony Bates did take his time and give him that free kick, but he got it right.
Well, we know that Chris Cohen is capable of striking a lovely ball. He did it in the playoffs against Blackpool, you right remember. Does it here. Bradley Johnson got the touch away. Becchio trying to run it out. He's lost out. Forest again. Ryan Bertrand, the on-loan Chelsea fullback. Still plenty of red inside the Leeds United box. Wilson. It's wayward. Sanchez-Watt with a slightly heavy touch.
Leeds United would have expected to be on the back foot, I'm sure, when they came here, but certainly not to the tune of that. Look at that possession. Just a little bit concerning when you concede that much possession. You can see already.
Well, they say that pre-season doesn't count for too much. They say that a wobbly start to the season might not mean an awful lot come the final reckoning, but you look at what's happened to Forest. You tag it on to the end of last season if you want to put your pessimistic glasses on. It's 7 consecutive defeats, including the 2 they've had in both competitions this season. Leeds might feel if they can weather this early storm, they'll start to be able to play a bit of football themselves.
Well, that's what they're going to have to do. They're not really being given any choice by Nottingham Forest but to try and weather the storm. It's a dangerous game, conceding possession, conceding territory.
Gunter. Across from Gunter, Blackstock! Dexter Blackstock with the breakthrough for Nottingham Forest.
I said they were conceding space, conceding possession. How easy was that? A little short throw, laid back to the fullback who puts the ball into the box. And when you've got Dexter Blackstock in there, you're always going to have a threat that he may get on the end of that. And that's just precisely what happens there. It's all too easy, that. Simon Grace will be furious, but as that's helped in, Dexter Blackstock, he's still got plenty to do, make no mistake, but he gets the contact on the header to absolute perfection, gets the angle just right and sends it out of the reach of Kasper Schmeichel. It's a brilliant header, but it's a very, very avoidable goal for Leeds United.
His first league goal this season, Forest's first league goal this season. Showing all the characteristics that made them almost impenetrable at home here last season. Lost a little flurry of games in the league towards the start. 3 of their first 4 here, in fact, this time 12 months ago, but unbeaten in the league since then.
That was the last thing Leeds United needed, wasn't it? We were talking about could they weather the storm, well, the answer's an emphatic no. And I just wonder whether Simon Grayson will change something early, because there's no real pressure. I wonder if he'll force Leeds United to close the ball down a little higher up the pitch, try and stop the flow of this Nottingham Forest possession, because it's all too easy for them when they're in possession of the ball at the moment.
Blackstock winging in the air ahead, Naylor. Here comes Kasper Schmeichel.
You can see what his signal is there. His teammates just calm down a little bit. They need to. Leeds United.
Becchio's header. Watt couldn't hold it. Earnshaw. Challenge from Bassoni was a fair one, said the referee.
That's another good decision. Clearly pokes the ball away.
Well, we highlighted them before the match, and they've got to get them into the match, these wide men, haven't they? Don Lloyd, Sam and Sanchez Watt, to provide a bit of relief.
Yeah, they certainly do, and the only work that they've been able to do so far is on the back foot, is dropping in deeper and helping defend against this wave of Nottingham Forest attacks.
Certainly buffeted right under the nose of the referee as well by Forest's goal scorer. 13 in all competitions last season, 12 in the Championship. He's up and running, and so are Nottingham Forest.
That would have been a slight concern for Billy Davies, wouldn't it? The team been creating chances aplenty in the opening couple of fixtures of this season and not been able to convert anywhere near a high enough percentage. Proved a bit of an Achilles heel towards the back end of last season, didn't it, where even if you remember the playoff semi-final up at Blackpool, they had opportunities to go 2 or 3 up before Blackpool equalised, and they didn't take them. So that Dexter Blackstock goal just settled a lot of people around the City ground down.
Should provide an injection of confidence. Much after the events of last May, both up at the seaside at Bloomfield Road, and here may yet be a little brittle. Well, that's a confident flick by Earnshaw. Could be in here, Rob Earnshaw. Oh, denied by the woodwork.
Well, it deserved better. I don't think anybody can disagree with that. It deserved better. It was pure quality. First the awareness and the flick, and then he spins in. It's an awkward ball, but he takes it in his stride and gets the strike away, and he's ever so unlucky. It's absolutely brilliant link-up play between the two strikers. We saw something similar with Watford's front two, didn't we, against Norwich when Danny Graham scored. But that was excellent play. It deserved better.
Well, turning the screw again, Nottingham Forest. 1 down, but at 6s and 7s, Leeds United. A torrid first quarter of an hour from Simon Grayson. Neil Collins, Bassoni.
Look at the way Forest are pressing Leeds higher up the pitch, forcing them back, forcing them with nowhere to go, and that, I think maybe that's what Leeds should be trying to do to Nottingham Forest.
Simon Grayson animated just down below us, getting instructions out as to how they might stem the flow.
very experienced players at the back there at the heart, haven't they? And Richard Naylor and Neil Collins, both with lots of experience. Needing all of that at the moment.
Well, Naylor, who was left out of the Carling Cup side that beat Lincoln because he's a little bit short of match fitness, didn't have much of a pre-season. He's getting a real working over here. His first away trip of the campaign. Howson has it here. Sanchez Watt. Now Lloyd Sam. This is better from Leeds. Early shot blocked by Morgan. Naylor hoists it high.
Well, at least they're up the Nottingham Forest end of the pitch. Two new boys able to link up there, get the strike away, got blocked. At least it's something positive.
Morgan able to carry out. Blackstock, Naylor. And over the top by McKenna, a chase for Earnshaw. Trouble for Leeds United again. Anderson is in there. Blackstock wants the cut back. Earnshaw wants it himself. That's probably why he's top scorer season in, season out, wherever he plays, Rob Earnshaw.
Yeah, Dexter Blackstock still having a go at him. Really not happy that Earnshaw didn't pull that ball back for him.
Majewski on the move. The pole's not going to be able to make up the ground in front of the Leeds United travelling thousands.
Well, all top goal scorers, natural goal scorers, do have this pretty ruthless, selfish streak. And Rob Earnshaw, there's Blackstock on the edge of the box wanting it, but only one thing in Robert Earnshaw's mind there, and that was to go for goal. And the strike partner has just let him know.
27 league goals in the Championship between the front two for Forest today. 31 goals in all competitions is what Leeds are without since the departure of Jermaine Beckford to Everton. Big hole to fill, and Billy Painter, the man they brought in to fill it, still out injured, still 3 to 4 weeks away. Simon Grayson was telling us before. We've got plenty of players out who would probably be starting today. Robert Snodgrass, another.
Difficult, isn't it, when you're starting a new season at a new level. A few key players get injured. I have to say, Luciano Becchio is doing his utmost to fill that void, isn't he? He's scored 7 goals in his last 8 games, something like that.
Collins should play it safe and does. And in many ways, Nottingham Forest can provide a template for what Leeds United supporters could look at for what to expect. They struggled in their first season back up at this level. Last season they came close. This is their 3rd attempt to get back to the big time.
It's still very early days, isn't it, to think we'll be talking about Leeds United having a struggle, you know. We're less than 2 games into a brand new season.
We're talking about expectation rather than reality, though, at this stage of the season.
But they always knew this was going to be a tough game. Nottingham Forest showed on numerous occasions last season what quality they do have on the day. Good as anything in this division. I remember them going to the Hawthorns and absolutely ripping West Bromwich Albion to pieces.
Probably one of the performances of last season in this league, wasn't it?
Without question. So we know it's in there for Nottingham Forest.
Well, you mentioned it there, Don, having your day, and this season more perhaps even than last. It's about the side who can have their day most often.
Well, there isn't a Newcastle, there isn't a West Bromwich Albion. It's pretty much a fairly level playing field for the first time in many a season, I would think. And there'd be most of that championship really believing that they could at least aim for a playoff spot.
You just look at the table already. I know it's only a couple of games in, but pretty much everyone has taken something off someone else. These two among the exceptions, along with Preston, who've had a shaky start to the season in league terms.
Becchio frustrated because Schmeichel kicks the ball up there. He will win his fair share of flick-ons, Luciano Becchio, but he needs people like Lloyd Sam and Sanchez Watt trying to look in behind for that flick, and on the last 2 or 3 occasions, neither of them have been able to do so.
Bradley Johnson. On the City ground in full voice, not quite, but pretty nearly full. Provides a stage for some to shine, some to shrink as well by that token. Leeds can't allow that to happen, even though we're still shy of the halfway point in this first half. Bradley Johnson. Here's Bradley Johnson. Good burst into the box from him. McKenna couldn't get there. He felt he was fouled, and the man who matters agrees.
Lloyd Sam is absolutely raging. He doesn't think anything is wrong with his challenge. McKenna's going to clear it, and then he gets the ball, and Paul McKenna kicks the back of Lloyd Sam. I think he's maybe claiming for a penalty there, you know. So it's all about the interpretation.
Bertrand for Nottingham Forest to Paul Anderson. Cohen wants it switched. This is Gunter. Now Cohen. Great movement from Forest whenever they contemplate an attack. Majewski gets what he's looking for against Neil Kilkenny.
There may have been contact. Goes down very, very easily, but it's right under the nose of the referee. It's a central area. 35 yards out. A couple of people that may fancy that in Forest Red.
Miroslav Majewski, the last goal he scored was in that game, an absolute belter against West Bromwich Albion back in January. Looks like it will fall to him to take it on, or perhaps to tee it up. Majewski, always going over.
It's a very, very long way out to be trying to curl a ball around a wall, isn't it? Oh, great pace to that shot. Going to take something spectacular.
They'll be hoping, Forest fans and management, in fact, that this is a season for him to take the next step. We've seen from him over the last 12 months since he's been in English football. He's got the talent. Now he should have a little bit more of the mentality about the cut and thrust of football at this level.
Everybody connected with Forest will be hoping for that big season from him. Talented player.
Header from McKenna, so too from Bassoni. The Argentinian acquisition of fullback from Swansea City. A good initial challenge by Majewski, but Leeds still have it. Lloyd Sam. This is Sanchez Watt on loan again from Arsenal. Sam with the run. Almost the first time that Lee Camp has been called into action.
That's good anticipation.
Good opportunity here. Becchio just touched it slightly too much first time, which allowed Camp to come out and smother.
Called it spot on there. First touch was heavy.
First time that Forest have looked anything like fragile. That will give encouragement to the Leeds cause.
There's a sloppy ball in the middle of that from Nottingham Forest, and leave the ball away in a dangerous area. Leeds worked it well.
There's Kilkenny to Collins. Had a spell on loan from Preston at Ellen Road last season. He's back again. An old new face, if you like.
There's that pressure again. Forest have applied it, forced the ball all the way back to Kasper Schmeichel, and Simon Grayson is remonstrating with his forward players. I have to say, when Bassoni is in possession of the ball there, he really needs options in front of him. Didn't have any.
Lloyd Sam. Now Kilkenny. Now Bassoni. Open a little bit late by Majewski. The referee spotted it as well. That's why he's pulled it back, given Leeds the free kick.
That's not the first time he's been a little bit late, you know, Majewski. Really late. Kilkenny Plays the ball off there, and it's just a follow-through, isn't it? It's a silly one. He's lucky to get away without seeing yellow for that.
He may not get away with too many more. Great noise from the Leeds United supporters. Camp's come a long way, hasn't got quite enough. Becchio, hopeful.
Well, that can't be considered a chance, but certainly one a couple of minutes ago was. Calvin Wilson gets caught, and then it falls nicely, doesn't it, for Leeds United? It's played well to Becchio. That's the touch there. Just allows Lee Camp to close the space down. Heavy touch. Narrows his angle, and before he knows it, Lee Camp's on top of him. It's really good goalkeeping. Becchio would have hoped to have made better use of that.
Flag up early on to frustrate Forest. Well, it's been a summer of rumour, counter-rumour about his own future at times, about who and whether anyone would be coming in. Interesting little tit-for-tat in the programme today between his chairman Nigel Doughty. He says firmly that he feels he's spending enough, investing enough, paying enough to all the players who are currently at the club. And Billy Davies, of course, well, which manager doesn't want more investment and more players at his disposal?
Billy, when Forest were really challenging West Brom and Newcastle last season, last Christmas, Billy was calling for extra investment. Didn't get it. He ended up in the playoffs.
Bassoni, first time he's really got forward to the byline. Finds a fine opponent in Gunter, though. Welsh international could shepherd it out. And in the shadow of the Brian Clough stand, so many players in common. Kenny Burns, a European Cup winner here, of course, also had a spell at Leeds United after that. And there are players who are Leeds through and through. Peter Lorimer, a couple of spells there, still closely associated with the club. John McGovern, who played under Brian Clough briefly at Leeds, and of course more substantially and successfully here at Forest as well. Previously at Derby County, he's usually here on a match day. The reminders of eras gone by are never too far away when these two clubs are around.
It's just settled down a little bit more for Leeds United, hasn't it? This constant wave of Nottingham Forest attacking just relented just 5 or 10 minutes. And that's why Leeds have been able to just inch their way back into this game. Becchio with a couple of efforts. A few more positive signs for the men in blue.
Not too many survivors from the last time that Leeds came here, when it was a League One meeting 3 seasons ago, but Leeds did come here and win 2-1. Jermaine Beckford and Trezor Kandol got the goals. But prior to that, you have to go back to 1971, when most of those players we were just talking about were in the white of Leeds United, Lorimer and co, for the last Leeds win here. Forest, for that matter, haven't beaten Leeds here since the Premier League era. Brian Roy with the penalty kick. 1996, just as this ground was finishing its refurbishment to host matches in Euro 96. The pressure on Wilson. Maybe a Forest throw, though.
Wilson not happy with Paul McKenna, and one or two a couple of fiery characters, just letting each other know expectations around here are high. Players demanding of each other. They don't just need the manager to do that job for them.
Earnshaw. He's got caught up under his feet a little, back off his heels. Thumping clearance away by Kasper Schmeichel. Cohen's touch, now Blackstock, the goal scorer. Majewski.
Well, that's a shot.
It's a shame as well.
Yeah. 5 Nottingham Forest players attacking. There's a bit of an inquest going on now. Was that the right decision? Probably not. Certainly the execution was poor, but he's clearly trying to cut in and bend that into the top corner, but nowhere near.
Well, plenty more championship action coming for you. Next weekend, Coventry against Derby County, Saturday noon. Sky Sports HD 2 and 2. And next Sunday, they've started with something of a stutter, haven't they, Middlesbrough, and managerless Sheffield United now. That's 1 o'clock, Sky Sports HD 1 and 1. Bradley Johnson now hunting in packs. That might leave it open for Bassoni. Back in by Collins. Bassoni again, but not close enough to cause any trouble to any former teammate. Not many players, or former players, who've lifted the European Cup once, let alone twice. Vecchio, beaten in the air by Morgan. Well, they were rocking on the ropes for most of the first 20 minutes, Leeds, but they've gradually started to work their way back into the game.
He's had a lot to think about, hasn't he? But certainly when the last show they had 18% of the ball last time, they've worked it up to 41%, so they are slowly but surely inching their way back into this match. And Forest just seem to have lost a little bit of the momentum that they had earlier on in this match.
They'll want to be testing Lee Camp a little bit more, though. Not to really have to pull off a save in anger, come for a couple of crosses. McKenna. As Forest go back to go forward. McKenna. Lloyd Sam does well to hold on to it for Leeds. Kilkenny back to Lloyd Sam. Bradley Johnson just a little bit wayward, which invited the challenge from Anderson. He's heard himself in it. Play will go on for the men in blue today. And get the free kick. Anderson can get a little bit of help.
Oh, looks in pain, doesn't he? There's a ball that broke loosely, and it's just the slide, isn't it? The follow-through, the momentum of Lloyd Sam just takes him into Paul Anderson. There's a heavy clash. Anderson came off worst.
Leeds don't have such a bulldozing header of the ball as Chris Iwelumo, who scored the winning goal for Burnley against them on day one, but Leeds conjure something here. Away by McKenna, who steadied himself. This is Kilkenny. And now Forest can contemplate the counter-attack. Cohen.
Oh, just a poor touch again, and look, 4 Forest players. Billy Davis knows. Great opportunity to work a good opening, that was squandered.
Forest used Chris Gunter. It was such a whistle-stop start from Nottingham Forest, wasn't it? They could have been ahead in the first 90 seconds, drawing a point-blank save from Kasper Schmeichel. Eventually, inside the first 10 minutes, the goal did come. Thanks to Blackstock getting it with his head. He's not having it it quite so much their own way since, though, Nottingham Forest.
Paul Connolly, the fullback, just stepped across the run of Paul Anderson. Referee having a quiet word.
Paul Connolly, who spent the last couple of seasons just up Brian Clough way at Derby County. On the A52, as it was formerly known. Good header by Cohen. Stooping to get it away was the Leeds captain, Naylor. Bradley Johnson had a rather risky ball, which was cut out by Paul McKenna. Anderson for Gunter. Majewski. Cohen. Morgan. It's come off Becchio. Blue shirt to it first in the form of Lloyd Sam.
Billy Davis is furious down below us.
Touched on by Howson. Bradley Johnson, good cross in, and a Leeds United equaliser. Nottingham Forest, the downfall is down to them, but they are pegged back 9 minutes before the break.
Well, I wouldn't like to be Wes Morgan at half-time, because I think he knows what's probably going to come from his boss here. And both centre-halves of Forest have been guilty in the last 5 or 10 minutes of giving the ball away in dangerous areas, and this is just a straightforward pass out to the left back. Gets it horribly wrong, but what happens then is Leeds United work the ball really well. And if you have a look, see where Lloyd Sam is coming from. Comes unchallenged. Gets a free header. It's a super header right into the corner. We've seen two really good headers, but great delivery from Johnson. Where is the marking on Lloyd Sam? Nobody picked him up, and that's the price you pay.
Well, he scored in the Carling Cup against Lincoln. He's got his first league goal for Leeds now. And having had this game in the palm of their hands early on, are Nottingham Forest going to let it slip? Bertrand. Decent ball in, cleared out by Collins. Majewski takes the swipe.
He's got all the time in the world to have a little touch, settle himself, and then get the strike away. Billy Davis must have been absolutely thrilled with the start, the first 20-25 minutes, when it was just a super performance from Nottingham Forest, but they've lost their way a little bit. All of a sudden, the fluency of the passing has gone. And it's allowed Leeds United back into this game. And while it was only 1-0, we've seen countless times over the years what can happen when a team dominates for so long, but the score's only 1-0.
Blackstock. Anderson. Majewski. Bertrand. Forest seek to get back in front. Anderson.
Well, Schmeichel's always got this under control. Paul Anderson, they work it better, don't they? A bit of passing and movement. Anderson finds some space, gets a touch, gets the strike in, but Schmeichel always in control of that. They've got to pick themselves up now, haven't they, Forest, again? It's all going swimmingly.
Gunter. Thanks to Blackstock, felt that as he ran into Neil Collins. Kilkenny. Connolly. Back to Neil Kilkenny, who started off his footballing education at Arsenal. Naylor, born in Leeds. Most of his career spent in East Anglia with Ipswich.
All of a sudden, where's the pressure? We were seeing Forest really press the ball in those areas earlier on. Well, Wes Morgan initially gave the ball away, from which Leeds United scored, but Majewski has a role to play in here as well. He's there in the middle of your picture with Lloyd Sam, but Lloyd Sam just runs off him, doesn't even try and get back, and you can see by his reaction, he knows that he is partly responsible for this game being all square. Take nothing away from the header. There was a couple of massive errors from players in red shirts in the build-up to that.
Well, they might not be feeling too good about themselves, but Lloyd Sam will be feeling a lot better than he was after day one when he gave away the penalty. He's scored in back-to-back games now for Leeds. It's Nathan Tyson who's getting a talking to from his manager.
It looks for all the world as if he's planning on making that change at half-time, doesn't it? Not happy with what he's seen probably over the last 15 minutes.
It's a Forest free kick here. Bradley Johnson adamant that it shouldn't have been awarded.
And just by the way they fall, modern football players certainly don't help officials, do they? But very, very minimal contact. Chris Cohen has brought Nottingham Forest this free kick in a very good area.
Cohen to try and make the angle. Offside flag goes up against Anderson.
Well, straight off the training ground, isn't it? Just that Paul Anderson just strays a bit too early. Good movement, isn't it? Really good, but Leeds were out. It's a really good line from Leeds United. Catches Paul Anderson offside.
Vecchio, perseverance from the Argentinian. As Don said a little bit earlier, it's bound to be a lot more spotlight on him with the departure of Jermaine Beckford, a lot more expectation as well. Majewski, Anderson, three in the middle here for Nottingham Forest. One of them is Cohen. Assistants flag up again on this near side.
They are a very, very experienced back four in Leeds United, and the ball's being knocked down there, make sure that they're all together. It's a couple of offside decisions.
Well, even the new boys, you look at Neil Collins, who I know was at Leeds a little bit last season, twice promoted from this league with Sunderland and Wolves. Bassoni, the new left back, he was a member of the back four at Swansea last season, which conceded the fewest goals. Morgan, the pressure on him, this time from Sanchez. What? Camp gets it out.
Look at the difference. Look at the difference. That goal has given Leeds a real lift, hasn't it? They're closing the goalkeeper down, closing the fullback down, making it a lot harder for Nottingham Forest.
Here's Cohen. Bertrand. Majewski, Anderson, Blackstock. An extra touch just allowed the defenders in. Naylor wasn't going to take a chance. Forest have the corner inside the last couple of minutes of the first half.
There have not been many corners, have there, in this match? In fact, there haven't been any. It's the first one.
Cohen to take it, goes deep. Blackstock got his head to it, but not as effectively as he did back in the 9th minute. Well, it all looked so rosy, didn't it, Don, when he headed Nottingham Forest in front.
Grayson will be a lot happier than he was. Even easy. I think back to the Earnshaw chance that hit the post. His team could have been all but out of this match, but they are right in it now.
Glance off Morgan just enough to carry it through to Lee Camp. Well, one thing we know about this Leeds side, even though there is a sprinkling of new players about it, is that it has character. To hang on and regroup the way they did at the end of last season to get automatic promotion was quite a feat. I think they'd lost 4 consecutive games, hadn't they? They were drifting away and then recovered to win 5 of their last 7. 2 points in the end, their superiority margin over Charlton to sneak into promotion behind Norwich. And for so long they had led. A little too much on that from Kasper Schmeichel. The first half pendulum has well and truly swung, hasn't it, Don?
Doesn't look happy, does it? I'm sure his players are going to find out exactly how happy or not he is very, very shortly.
Early season euphoria quickly evaporated at the City ground. Wes Morgan, so often Mr. Reliable for the men in red, with an error which gifted Lloyd Sam his first league goal for Leeds United. Turned out to be the equaliser after Dexter Blackstock had started the ball rolling for Nottingham Forest. So finally poised at half-time here. Nottingham Forest 1, Leeds United 1.